Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dive into a really fascinating dialogue that, honestly, it challenges a belief that a lot of us hold about what life is all about.
You've probably heard this idea before, right? That our whole existence is basically a big classroom for the soul. You know, that we're here to learn specific things, pass some tests, and then we get to graduate and move on. It's a pretty comforting thought.
But when this exact question was put to a Buddhist master in the text we're looking at, his answer was incredibly direct, unambiguous, and, frankly, a little jarring. Just one word: no. Okay, so if life isn't a school, then what in the world is it? Well, the mastermind offers a completely different way of looking at it, a framework that basically flips the whole purpose of our being here on its head. He says, look, our purpose isn't to be students in a classroom. We're more like inheritors. We are here to experience the results, the direct consequences of actions that were already set in motion a long time ago. And this concept, this Vietnamese term tho bao, is absolutely central to his whole point. It's not about figuring out the moral of the story. It's about simply living through the outcome, good or bad, that is coming our way because of the past. It's less about learning why and much more about experiencing what is. And this really shows you the huge shift in thinking. The common belief is kind of passive, right? It's all about looking backwards, thinking we're here to fix or learn from something. But the master's teaching, it's active. It's all about the now. We are here to live through old results, sure, but at the very same time, we are actively creating new ones. So this, of course, brings up a really obvious question. If we aren't here to learn, then why on earth do we seem to make the same mistakes over and over and over again? Why does it feel like we're stuck in a loop sometimes? The master's diagnosis here is so powerful, and it just cuts right to the bone. He says our main allegiance isn't to getting wiser. It's to our own emotional chaos, our greed, our anger, our confusion. We are loyal to them. And when they tell us to do something stupid, we stubbornly obey. And to explain this kind of self-destructive loyalty, he uses this really vivid and honestly kind of brutal analogy. He says to imagine we get behind the wheel of our life completely blindfolded. We're just reacting. Our greed is stomping on the gas pedal, our anger is yanking the steering wheel left and right, and we end up just causing collisions everywhere we go. And here's the best part. After causing all this chaos, instead of thinking, maybe my driving is the problem, we get out of the car and start yelling at everything we hit. We blame the house, the tree, the telephone pole, anything and anyone except the one who was actually behind the wheel. So are we doomed to be these chaotic, blind drivers forever? Is there another way to be? Well, the dialogue then introduces this alternative, and it's embodied by this almost mythical figure who represents a state that's way beyond all this turmoil. This figure is the Bodhisattva Paramita, and she's described as having this profound, almost unbelievable transformative power. It's not about her teaching you a lesson. It's about her ability to fundamentally change your whole state of being. So what does this power do? Well, according to the text, just encountering her grants you something called joyful samadhi, a state of stable, unshakable joy. The wild emotional swings, they just stop. You find yourself able to joyfully accept whatever life throws at you, the good stuff and the bad, because you're no longer a slave to your own inner chaos. You just naturally start creating good karma. Now I know what you might be thinking. A mythical being granting you stable joy sounds a little out of reach, right? But this is where the master's final point is so important. He brings all this ancient wisdom right back down to earth and puts the power directly in our hands, right here and now. So he separates our reality into two columns. On one side, you've got the results coming at you from the past. That's your tho bao, what you have to receive. You can't control it. But on the other side, you have your present actions, which are creating your future results. And that part is 100% in your control. And this is the real takeaway. It's huge. We can't change the karmic hand we were dealt from the past, but we have total control over how we play the cards we're holding right now. So our focus shouldn't be on the stuff we're enduring. It should be on the future we are actively building.
And this whole creating your future thing, it isn't some big mystical act. It's happening constantly, moment by moment by moment. It happens through what the teachings call the 3 gates. Every single action you take with your body, every word that comes out of your mouth, and yeah, even every single thought that pops into your mind, it's all an act of creation. Each one is planting a seed for a future result.
And that's where the master leaves us. The whole focus shifts away from trying to learn lessons from a past you can't change to taking full responsibility for a present that you can. And it leaves us with this final, incredibly empowering, and maybe slightly unnerving question to carry around. In this very moment, with your thoughts, your words, and your actions, what kind of future are you building?